We begin with President Trump's executive order to start abolishing the U.S. Department of Education. His order follows budget cuts by the agency, which intends to close the Dallas regional office of its Civil Rights Division. The White House says for now, Pell Grants, funding for low-income and disabled students will remain under the department, but could be transferred to other agencies in the future. It will take an act of Congress, including 60 votes in the U.S. Senate, though, to shut down the department. We spoke with Republican Congressman Brandon Gill of Flower Mound, who applauds the move, and Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Dallas, who blasts it.
What he's about to do is break the law again. Some court will come in and tell him, no, Mr. President, just so you know, you're not allowed to do that, kind of like they had to do with birthright citizenship and so many other things that he's trying to just kind of write into law. He believes that he reigns supreme to the other co-equal branches of government and that he can do whatever he wants to. This is devastating. At the end of the day, they are trying to starve this agency and bring it to its knees one way or another. We know that prior to him even signing off on this, when they finally did nominate the wrestling CEO to become the secretary, she was tasked with trying to shut down the agency. That is what he told her. We know that as soon as she got in, she decided that she was going to get rid of 50% of the people that work for the Department of Education. And so while they may go through trying to shut it down by basically putting it into a malnourished state, you know, they're going to have to go through the courts, or they're going to just have to get the Republicans to say, okay, we're okay with signing off on getting rid of the Department of Education. Good luck with that one.
Let me ask you, because everything that's been written so far, and obviously what you're saying, Congress still has to vote to do this.
Yeah.
And in the Senate, they need 60 votes to do it, right?
Yeah.
So how concerned are you about this?
I'm not very concerned about them being able to shut down the Department of Education legally, the lawful way, because of the filibuster in the Senate. Now, I say this on the heels of definitely a group of Senate Democrats letting us down as it relates to the continuing resolution that went through their chamber. I don't really see why or how they could agree to help the Republicans shut down the Department of Education. It doesn't really make sense. I don't think that this is a partisan thing. This is evil versus good. This is right versus wrong.
Well, I think, first of all, the educational authority should be at the state level. I think that it was a dubious constitutionality that the Department of Education was created to begin with. As you know, it was created not until 1979 under President Carter, and since then we have seen no improvement in educational attainment. In fact, on almost every single educational level, we've seen a decline in American standards. So it has not done its job. It has done an incredibly poor job. And a lot of the funding that comes from the Department of Education comes with strings attached, comes with woke ideologies that are being shoved down parents' throats, students' throats, and the state's throats. And I'm excited to see it end.
Now, there have been some concerns expressed by Democrats. The three Democrats who are in North Texas, Congresswoman Crockett, Julie Johnson, and Mark Vesey, sent a letter to Secretary McMahon questioning this and also expressing concern about the Office of Civil Rights being shut down, or ultimately being shut down by the department, the Office of Civil Rights in Dallas. What do you say to that?
I would say, first of all, we don't have the text of the executive order just yet. I think we'll get that later today. Typically what happens whenever departments are being shut down like this is that some of the more useful functions are going to be dealt with elsewhere in other areas of the federal government. But by and large, I do not believe that the federal government should play a role to the extent that the Department of Education has in our educational system. That is a state role, and that's something the state should take up, and they will.